Knott's Scary Farm, sometimes known as Knott's Halloween Haunt, but we're gonna go with the better name. Knott's Scary Farm is known for their incredibly well-themed original mazes, bringing you into new worlds, facing new terrors, sprung by the imaginations of the incredibly talented creators behind the scenes. But imagine, what would that look like if that very same talent adapted an IP, much like Universal does? What's an IP? Well, we don't have to imagine too hard, because Knott's actually had various haunted houses and experiences based off of several different horror films, and one that actually was not a horror film at all. Knott's has actually had the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt and Elvira over the years, which I guess those count as IPs, but they were mainly part of like shows and presentations and stuff like that. Elvira actually still has a presence at the parks, which is pretty cool. But it all really started in 2006 when they first collaborated on a haunted house with Sony/Columbia TriStar/Ghost House Pictures. The Grudge 2? No, it's funny that they call it The Grudge 2 because it seems to be taking a lot more from the first movie, which is fantastic if you ask me, as that one is like 1,000 times better. And according to the History of Knott's Scary Farm book that got released not too long ago by Ted Doherty, my suspicions were confirmed because apparently the maze was being created while the second movie was still in production. Which, you know, is fine because they got a lot of good stuff from that original movie that they were able to use. They caught the oppressive, creepy, weird atmosphere of those movies down to a T, particularly that house. I'm so jealous. I wish I could have experienced this myself, but that was 2006, a whole different era. It was so popular and positively received, they kept it around a whole nother year. They even had the premiere of The Grudge 2 at Knott's Scary Farm.
I better go.
The cultural references are different, the myths that it pulls upon are different. Takashi Shimizu is a brilliant director.
So the very next year, they had probably the most bizarre choice for a haunted house at Knott's Scary Farm. Beowulf, Labyrinth into Darkness. So, Beowulf, Labyrinth into Darkness is based off of Robert Zemeckis' 2007 computer-animated mocap fantasy drama released by Paramount in the US. I don't think anyone had this on their list of potential haunted houses, but it happened. And the funny thing is, it happened before the movie even came out. That is right, The Maze came out long before the film, which premiered in November of that year. But yeah, this one had you going through a interesting interpretation of the movie. They're even using Alan Silvestri's boisterous score from the movie throughout. But yeah, odd choice for a maze. Even though the movie did have a lot of pretty grisly deaths for a PG-13 movie. I mean, hell, it even had an R-rated trailer, which might have been a little misleading. So then a year after that, they ended up having a maze based off of Quarantine. So with Quarantine, it was the second collab that Knott's had with Sony, creating this haunted house based off of the American remake of this really freaking amazing Spanish film named Wreck. Given the choice between the two, I would definitely say go for Wreck instead, but they put a lot of work into the Quarantine haunted house. They did a really good job of translating the found footage horror story of an apartment complex that's gone to hell and back when an unknown virus gets in and starts infecting the tenants. Now, this kind of story is par for the course nowadays. You have so many different zombie outbreak movies, but at the time, in this way, it was pretty unique. The maze itself features a unique thing too, where they somewhat pull off an illusion where you go through a lobby scene and you eventually go through the same lobby, but now it's been overrun with zombies, which also happens in the movie. Very cool, and it looks like they used the budget to great effect and recreated the movie pretty faithfully, and it lasted 2 whole years. We're heading to 2009, where apparently, allegedly, there was going to be a Zombieland themed scare zone, and it's likely that this was going to go over in the what's now mostly known as Carnival. I mean, that would be a pretty fitting spot. Now, that's another Sony film, but oddly enough, it never ended up happening. Instead, they ended up defaulting to a different Sony picture, The Stepfather? Okay, yeah, apparently this happened, and there doesn't seem to be any footage or images of it. I'd really love to see it because this is all just left up to my imagination, but apparently there are people that have claimed that they experienced this thing and that it wasn't great. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The way people describe it make it sound like it's like one little room and there's like maybe a scare actor in there or something. Very, very odd choice considering the movie didn't exactly light up the box office, especially compared to Zombieland. So who knows what happened. This is where it gets really strange. So in an attempt to cross-promote Carrie for the 2012 haunt season, they decided to take Carrie and attach her to Virus Z, and then just kind of including her in that, which makes no sense at all. Carrie has literally nothing to do with the zombies, but they decided, okay, we're gonna slap a small little scene from Carrie on here and maybe a few other things and combine it with the zombie-themed maze. I don't get it. There must have been some strange, bizarre reason behind it, but I wish it was out there because the people gotta know. Then it gets even crazier with...
Hurting me. You're not her.
Evil Dead. Rated R. In theaters Friday.
Evil Dead. Let's just put it on the Timber Mountain log ride. That'll do. Although the setting does kind of fit, it is a bit of a reach though. Don't remember a log flume anywhere in that movie.
I'm headed into the Evil Dead ride right now. It's based in the log ride here at Knott's Scary Farm. It's a new ride they've never had before. Wow.
It does adapt a lot of the iconic imagery. It does kind of fit the foresty kind of environment. They even include the incredible music score from the film and throw in a lot of weird cameos from Ash, who's not even featured in the movie except for like a really brief post-credits stinger. Honestly, I wish I could have experienced this because I love the log ride and it's already a little creepy in some ways too, unintentionally. So to add this on top of it, I don't know. Sounds like it was pretty fun. And after that, Knott's never attempted to adapt another IP, which, you know, they continue to excel at creating their original experiences. But man, I wish I could have experienced The Grudge 2 and even Quarantine. Still, watch Wreck though. Even the Evil Dead log ride. But in the future, who knows? There have been rumors, and as far as whatever partnership they had with Sony over all those years, they have a few other movies that could potentially make some good haunted houses. We're getting real close to Knott's Nightmare Reveals. Nightmares Revealed? I always get it wrong, but it's happening soon. And they're about to announce their next couple mazes for the season, and they're likely going to be originals, and they're going to be awesome. But again, who knows what the future has in store? I just know if they attempted it again, they'd do a damn good job. You never know what secrets lie within the fog. Oh look, it's Cinema Slasher. One of Knott's most recent mazes that's a tribute to slasher films of old is coming to Six Flags Fiesta Texas Fright Fest. What the f?
So for all my love of Evil Dead, I just rode the log flume and now I'm probably gonna get pink eye because some of that water just squirted directly into my eye. So I hope you're happy, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell.
This is Casey with the Weekend Gamer. We've had a screaming time tonight here at the premiere of Quarantine at Knott's Scary Farm. Mr. Doug Jones, how's it going tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Now, I heard that's you dragging Jennifer in the poster here. What you talking about?
No, that was a Grudge 2. That was a new maze they started in 2006 to tie in with the sequel to The Grudge, which came out the same year.
You got some of that Knott's Berry Punch or what? You want to try one of the Knott's Berry Punch or what?
And that, creeps, brings us to the end of our show. Glad you stayed, aren't you, though? Now off you go with a nasty fright. This crypt is now closed, at least for tonight.